accept it. Oh, I'm up here and ain't no conscious people up there. And you know what? I know why it's no conscious people up there, because of you. You making excuses right now and you ain't going out there making them. You not stand. How could you tell me it's no conscious people out there when you conscious? Because consciousness is the interaction of conscious people. And wherever there's one conscious person, there gotta be conscious people. Because as that conscious person must interact with others, he calls others to be conscious in the very interaction. Is that right? So if there's no conscious people, it's because that one person who's saying there are no conscious people is unconscious. And when that one person who says there is no conscious people become conscious, then there'll be plenty of conscious people. Because he will have to interact consciously with all people. Is that right? That's deep. So as we really become conscious, and not just Afrocentric image, Afrocentric superficiality, Blackocentric superficiality, when we really become conscious, we become something that inevitably causes others to become conscious, even to interact. People come to me and say, you always talking some conscious stuff. Do you talk about anything else? No, I don't. They forced to become conscious to talk to me. And I find myself constantly talking to people who are always conscious. Because of them? Because of me. And the more that energy of consciousness is built up, the more integrity it will cause in a larger amount of people. Because it is a state of constant integrity. And I was into herbs for a while. And I got out of herbs. Because my whole thing was being an herbalist for years. Just herbalist. Brother Nomi, he came at the ending stage of my herbology. Because that's mostly what I was on. But then I said, wait a minute. Our people lack conscious integrity. And even though healing is important, integrity is greater than healing. Because if you have personal integrity, your chances of doing something that will harm you or make you sick are less. Do you see the point I'm making? So I'm only putting a bandage on people if I'm not elevating them to a level of personal integrity. I'm not helping them. But when I inspire them and motivate them to have more integrity and to have more self-realization, then they're probably going to change their diet. This is right. They're probably going to study natural herbs and get into natural healing, right? They're probably not going to just throw themselves on somebody's table. They're probably going to be more responsible for themselves. Thus, we will have a healthier community. And it won't be a healthy community because one person is an herbalist. It'll be a healthy community because it's a health-conscious community. And it's not wait on these few people to heal all of these people. It's the responsibility of the whole community to induce its own healing. Y'all see the point I'm making? So that's when I went from the herbs to motivating and nation building with people on the sincere level. I'm inducing them to become wholer people. Because a hospital, people say, well, the hospital are killing people. And I used to agree with that when I was an herbalist. That made sense. Because you're giving them these pharmaceutical medicines. So that made sense to me that these hospitals are killing people. It's the medicine. I said, wait a minute now. When you depend on somebody who's a lunatic and you lay your body on their table, I think it's you killing you. You get the point I'm making? If I walk up to somebody that they look like they don't know what's going on. They done wrote 15 different prescriptions. They write this shit so fast, their handwriting is terrible. This is how quick they writing different prescriptions. You seeing this person don't have no absolute idea what the hell they are doing. And you trust your life with a man. You follow what I'm making? You trust your life. You have to trust your life with life. You feel what I'm making? You can't trust your life with man. Because that man is not going to be with you in all of life. Is this right? So how do you trust your life with him when you're with your life more than you're with him? At some point, you got to develop a trust with your life. Is that right? People don't want to do that with hospitals. My doctor is going to heal me. Your doctor cannot heal you. Your life heals. Doctors don't heal. Life heals. Your proper relationship on a consistent basis to life is healing. Do y'all see the point I'm making? If you go to a doctor and say, well, my doctor is my healing, but you keep eating the wrong things, you have a misunderstanding of life. That ain't the doctor's fault. That's the person's fault, because they don't understand life. They don't understand life. That healing isn't in a doctor in a building. Healing is a way of life. And if you are not going to live the way of life of healing, you could have 50 doctors. But as long as you're in the moments with yourself, eating and doing what you're not supposed to be doing, right? What's going to happen to you? You will meet your demise. And it will be nothing a doctor could do about it. And it's not what the doctor did. It's what you did in the moments of life. So the whole idea of we need free health insurance. The only thing can insure your health is the way you live. There is no health insurance that could promote general healing for a society. Only when those individuals truly desire to ensure their health by what they do, they will be in a state of health. So when we start teaching people the knowledge of themselves and teaching them to love themselves and teaching them how valuable they are, they will become more healthier. And they will open up a body of information about health that we may have never been able to expose them to. Because many minds are better than one. So when you got a community focused on health, that community will always outdo what any individual can do. Because all of them all the time are thinking about their health versus them leaving it up to what? One individual to think about their health. That's too much pressure on one individual. And if you put too much pressure on one area, it collapses, right? But when health is balanced among the consciousness of the whole community, then we have a healing community. We have a healthy community. That's a challenge. But that's why I stepped out of herbs as an herbalist and stepped into nation building as a full-time. You know what I'm saying? Because I realized that until people appreciate themselves more, appreciate who they are, will they change their lifestyle habits and change the things that they have been doing repeatedly to destroy themselves. Other than that, you're just putting Band-Aids on them. But you know the best way to help them change is to exemplify the fullness of the way. And when they deal with you, they must deal with the exemplification of the way itself. That's better than teaching them. That's better than trying to tell them something. Because when they deal with you, they what? They got to deal with that environment. Sisters came here earlier. This was like a hospital. Elders came. The brother lit the incense. It was healing in the air. But that they was exposed to a way of life. So when they came into this, they came into the positive energy and the positive atmosphere of this. So wait a minute, we wasn't trying to bring them into positivity, but by us being on that, what happened to them? They had to get it. When they came into this, they was exposed to it fully. So we didn't have to teach them. We didn't have to hit them over the head with it. It's just what's going on. So we got to turn up the volume here. So that nation building is going on so strong that when people come into it, they own it. And then it's like water in the basement. When it starts to rise, it starts flooding out the door. And you got people that come here with sinner. They coming in and out. But they coming in and now they taking it out with them. And they coming in and it's charging them more and they taking it out with them harder. We think those people that are coming here and just coming and going, we think that they're not being affected. They're representatives of us. They just represent how strong the charge is that they have received here. And if it's a weak charge, then they go out and carry a weak charge. Do you see the point I'm making? So it doesn't trickle to the effect of them gravitationally drawing people into it. Do y'all feel the point I'm making? But we turn up the charge here. The people that come here that don't even look like they're about nothing. That don't look like they're sincere or want to put. When that charge turns up here, it's contagious. It's contagious. People thought the bubonic plague was contagious. Consciousness is more contagious because there's no vaccine for it. You all hear the point I'm making? And there are no parameters of where you can isolate it. Come on. So when we turn up the charge here on this highest level, those people that we see will become representatives. And this would be like a national embassy. But back in the day, I was over-organized when I was doing this. I had drew up all these blueprints. Trust me, I'm the most organized nation builder. When I was young, I had, okay, we're going to have this department. And I literally spent months, years, writing up these master plans. We're going to have this, we're going to have that, we're going to have that. But I said, you know what? All that is a product of something else. Y'all understand what I'm saying? That's what the Black Panthers don't realize. And it's no diss on them. But when you have integrity in black love and black supremacy, it becomes something in and of itself. All them little components that you see that just seem like it's so organized, those are a byproduct of the true level of sincerity that the people have. So these things are formed not as an organized concept trying to force people to fit the mold, but an energy that begins to define itself as those components. Ain't that deep? They going it the other way. Well, we're going to work for the European, and we're going to have these little meetings and organize this. It's never going to turn into anything, as it haven't. Because you can't organize something that don't exist. You can only organize what exists. If I say I'm going to organize the screws, there must be some screws. If I'm going to organize the cans in the kitchen, there must be some cans, right? But when you get to cans, it's easier to organize them, right? They don't see that. They're going to organize nation building, community, and organize revolution, but they are no real revolutionary-minded people. It's some people that can go to a meeting after work. How do you organize that into a revolution? You cannot. You can only organize revolutionaries into a revolution. You can't organize workers into a revolution. It's only at the point where those workers become truly revolution can you organize them as revolutionaries. That's like the army. Saying we're going to organize the people in the community into an army. But he got to pull them out of society and draft them into completely what it is, right? The army don't have people working for society and saying, well, bring your money that you get from our enemies. Do it? Bring us the money that you get from our enemies, and we're going to use that money to build our army, and you can work 9 to 5 and then come on base and train. Come on now. Man. Don't no army operate like that. They don't organize workers. They don't organize students. They organize true soldiers. And by the time you get to the point of being in the army, what happens? At that point, you have decided that you're going to be a soldier. You're going to be